The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 16, also known as the finale to Part 2 of the final season, titled The Acts of God, just came out, and I just watched it, and here are my thoughts. But before I get into those thoughts, it's going to be full of spoilers, so make sure you go watch the episode before you watch this, and then come back and then watch this. And then leave me a comment. Let me know if you have your own thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you like The Walking Dead, or if you like various other TV shows or movies, or you want to watch their other reactions. Gonna do all that on this channel, so subscribe. I'd love to see you part of the community. This episode, we finally see direct combat between our survivors and Commonwealth soldiers led by Hornsby, Lance Hornsby, and an incredibly intense action scene. It has Daryl, Aaron, and Gabriel. Basically, they're like brought into this area, and then they're surrounded, and then they attempt to murder them. Of course, we know our survivors at this point. We know how badass they are. We know how tough they are. We know how capable they are. And they leave unscathed. Aaron gets shot in the arm. It's the worst thing that happens. This action scene I actually enjoyed a lot. I thought it was very intense. The camera angles were really cool, though I do think that they used slow motion maybe too many times. We also have Hornsby marching on Hilltop, and by the time he gets to Hilltop, pretty much everyone is gone except for that one dude who's like been in the background since season 9. He gets shot in the head by Leah, actually. And I knew that was going to happen because he had a smile on his face and he seemed motivated. And as soon as he had that grin, I'm like, he's going to die. And then he got shot like literally a second and a half later. We also get a showdown between Maggie and Leah. And it's a badass scene, and Leah has the upper hand and she's about to kill Maggie, and then she is shot by Daryl. And I love this scene, and I dislike this scene for different reasons. One, I like this scene because I love how quick Daryl was on the trigger. No hesitation from Daryl. We know who Daryl is. If there's ever any doubt for him, the doubt is unjustified. Daryl, when it comes down to it, is always going to protect his family, even over his first lover, who I'm assuming took his virginity. But yes, I absolutely love this scene. Like Daryl and Maggie, they were separated for years, and then when push comes to shove, he still chooses to save Maggie over, again, Leah, his ex, the one he lived with for months. And the one who gave him dog, or left dog with him, or something like that. At first, I was wondering why Daryl was so emotionless, but like, it just makes sense. Daryl has been through so much shit that like, he can now execute someone who is really close to him and barely feel anything. Now, Daryl is an extremely emotional guy. He doesn't show his emotions that much. He does not wear them on his sleeve. But we all know Daryl gives a shit about those close to him. So I just love that Daryl knows what to do. He knows to protect those that he cares about. And of course, I'm sure he's heartbroken on the inside, but he gets shit done. However, I also feel like there could have been a bit more punch to the death. And this is something that The Walking Dead has done frequently with villains, and since season 10 pretty much, is I always feel like they kill their villains off a bit too, I'm not going to say easy. I like their realistic deaths. I like how every villain doesn't have to have this massive showdown. They don't need to almost like win and then die. Though that is pretty much what happened. I do like the realism of it, though when you think about it, Beta died very quickly and very anticlimactic. And same with Pope, and now Leah followed in that same, realm of deaths. And I just wish that they would give a villain a bit more punch to their death, a bit more emotional impact. And but that's like a nitpick at this point. I'm absolutely loving this final season. Now let's talk about the big scene. I have a feeling this is a scene that everyone's going to talk about, and it's Maggie telling Negan that she's starting to trust him. And this is the moment that everyone's been waiting for, like pretty much since Maggie returned. Not even since Maggie returned, since before Maggie even left in season 9. People have been wondering what's going to happen. Are they going to kill each other? Are they going to forgive each other? And at this point, Maggie says she's starting to trust Negan, but I feel like Maggie is convincing herself to trust Negan. I feel like in that moment, she needed to feel like Herschel was safe. And so I feel like Maggie is forcing herself to trust Negan. But when push comes to shove, I don't think the trust is 100% there yet. And this is going to be where I get into another nitpick I have with the show, but that nitpick is going to have a huge asterisk next to it, and that asterisk is going to say next to it that I've been wrong about this before. And that is that I feel like the emotional payoff hasn't been earned. Like, when Maggie finally tells Negan, I'm starting to trust you, when I watched it, it didn't feel impactful. It didn't feel like it was placed properly in the plot. There's a few things in this episode that do that. Again, sort of when Daryl killed Leah, when Hornsby took over the communities. There's just a lot of stuff Negan with his wife and having a baby. There's just a lot of stuff that I feel like is forced emotion that the writers are doing. Like they're trying to force you to have these emotional beats that I don't feel like are earned. However, I am going to say that I've been wrong about this before, and that is for a specific reason. That specific reason is that The Walking Dead, while sometimes very in your face, very melodramatic at times, it is also very subtle. Like there are very subtle character moments. Like one character could look at another character. One character could say one line that resonates later in the season, which is months later if you include the time skip between seasons, or the time you wait between parts of the season. And again, I've been wrong about this before. I've seen some of you say you've been wrong about this before, but very often it feels like emotional beats in this show are earned, but when you go back and you binge watch the whole show and you see everything put together, it's more impactful. The Walking Dead is a show that feels like it was written, directed, and edited to be binge watched. And I love The Walking Dead. I love watching it week to week, but a lot of the problems, a lot of the faults that I have with it usually get fixed when I watch the season a second time in a binge watch session. And that's why I'm going to say I could be wrong. A lot of the emotional beats, again, don't feel earned, but I have a feeling they'll feel more earned when binge watched. And then, of course, the other half of the episode, a news article finally went out exposing Pamela Milton. And again, that's one of those things where I feel like we're supposed to feel like it's this big, epic thing, though I don't feel like it's earned. Though I am still very invested in this arc. I am still very invested in this season of The Walking Dead. I still think, so far, it's earning the badge of being the final season of one of the greatest TV shows ever. And again, these are all nitpicks that I feel like are going to be fixed when binge watched. But yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the finale of part 2 of the final season of The Walking Dead. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. And now we wait for the final part of the season. But until then, we got Dead in the Water coming out. We got Fear the Walking Dead coming out. And of course, I'm going to talk about all of those. The anthology series is coming out this summer, which they just announced a new character for, by the way. Alpha. Alpha will be returning for Tales from the Walking Dead. That should be cool. Subscribe. And next time you see a Walking Dead video, we'll be in a new location. If you're wondering why we've been outside, been in the process of moving, but come the next Walking Dead video, that won't be the case anymore, so say goodbye to the trees.